Hi, loves. How are you? Today, we're going to talk about this eclipse corridor, this space in between the eclipses, and the energy of discernment that we're being called into through this process. There's a lot of different messages and energies coming through, so I'm going to give this space here with you today. I do definitely feel that through these eclipses on the planetary scale, there is a huge, deeper recalibration happening between the masculine and feminine collectives. And we are feeling this internally and also externally. I'm going to share some of the visions of what I've been seeing and some of the energies that have been coming through. And I'm being shown the April 8th eclipse, the eclipse, the full eclipse that's happening where I'm living. I know it's through the States, but I'm going to be personally stationed in a position to experience the full eclipse. And if you think about the sun and the moon coming together in those harmonious energies at the exact moment in alignment, it is representative of that recalibration of the masculine and feminine essences and the opportunity to more deeply clear the distortion that's in our internal energies, but also within the collectives. And I want to bring up this part of it, of why your own discernment is so incredibly important on how you partake in, participate, or experience these eclipse energies. There's lots of different ideas around how one should partake in that. Some people say, don't go in it, don't look at it, X, Y, and Z. I will tell you, I have been guided differently on my personal path. In the last eclipse, I was guided actually to experience it directly. Um, but I feel like it's very important for each one of you to honor however you are called to experience this process for yourself, asking for the alignment of what is going to be the most beneficial for you. Some people are being called to travel to go into the alignment. And so just honor whatever you're being called to do, regardless, okay? It feels very, very important because your highest self, your true heart is going to know what is necessary for you. And I think it's really important that we transmute any of the fears around these processes because that is important for us to be able to discern why we're making the decisions that we're making. And this is important for whatever we are choosing to do, is to not make our decisions based from fear, but from our internal alignment of truth. So if a fear or a worry or an excitement comes up, we can honor that and look at it, right? But it's also important to actually transmute the energies around it and truly discern if something is in alignment with you. Because if a fear comes up and it's something that we're running from without actually looking at it, then we've actually just given some of our power away. And I'm not talking about like if you're legitimately in danger, like, say you're walking down the street and a car is coming at you. Yeah, you need to move out of the way and run in another way, right? Like, I'm not talking about realistic, I'm in danger, I need to make a different decision energy. I'm talking about when we are being called into these decisions and experiences, and there's not a real, actual present danger that's putting you in danger in that exact moment, but truly dropping in and discerning instead if it feels correct for you or not, rather than just taking everybody else's word for it. Okay. It feels very important for you to align and get comfortable in deeper and deeper ways. And I know you guys are doing this already. So it's kind of reiterating it or helping us drop deeper into our truth and our sovereignty, because this is exceedingly important that we can take in other people's opinions. And when you do, that doesn't mean you have to take it as your truth. You can use it to filter, use it as a filter, to use yourself as a filter your own personal responsibility, right? Your own accountability to your choices and decisions, and allow yourself to have both an internal filter and an external filter energetically, where you can be present with information that's being presented to you, but then you have to decide what actually feels like truth for you. And you may find that something that they're saying or doing is helping you with that process. And some of it might feel true and some of it might not. Some of it might resonate fully. Some of it might feel like it doesn't resonate at all. Either way, that opportunity and that message is there and present for you, not to tell you what to do, but to offer you the opportunity to drop deeper into your own discernment and your own self-trust in new and deeper ways. And the beautiful part about this is, as you go through the process of allowing yourself to be in this process, is where you get stronger and stronger in that self-assuredness we talked about yesterday, and being able to discern what is correct for you. And this is taking me into part 2 of this message, because I'm being shown that many of the twin flame and divine counterpart connections are being called into a higher alignment during this time. Okay. And many of you are probably already feeling that or experiencing it. I was shown another and deeper layer to this that I am guided to speak to you all about, based on some of the questions that you've provided and asked on the channel about false twins or other types of divine counterpart connections beyond or outside of just the twin flame divine counterpart connection. And also, if for those of you who have been here with me for a little bit, actually, like the first video I ever did on this channel was just me kind of owning that I was going to take full responsibility for my stream and my twin flame initiation, regardless of what the counterpart chose and in what he decided to do with his activation. And my higher guidance was to continue to align with working my twin flame initiation and moving into that inner union. And my higher self gave me the terms kind of twin ray or rainbow ray. And the reason this is coming up now is because it's layered. And I want you, of course, to filter and feel what feels like truth for you. But I think this is coming through because of the way we're going through ascension and the way that we are expanding out of the old stories and opening up to the new highest timeline potentials. And I feel like there's a multitude of things that are happening. And I do feel like some are going to come together in those initial unions with the person that they had their twin flame initiation with. But I'm also seeing that there's many who have been working on their sovereignty and in working into aligning in the sacred and divine union energies, and may come into alignment with someone that wasn't the original person that they're here doing this work for. But there's really, what the higher selves want us to focus on is actually the frequency of the divine union energies, right? Because it's more about us as a collective, as humanity, as those of us that are here, that are being called to ground in these energies and essences, are more focused on the overall bigger mission, and then allowing what is in alignment to come into that alignment with us. Because this can look, where it goes into the unity consciousness codes, right? And the unity consciousness frequencies, it is really about coming into those inner union states and then being able to discern and be in those unity consciousness energies, like we spoke about yesterday, not just in the divine counterpart twin flame essences and partnerships, but in all of our relationships, our friendships, our family, the communities that we're building, right? So right now, whatever is present in front of you, you can work with those energies to strengthen and home in on your unity consciousness and sacred union energies and essences, right? So even here, having these conversations, dropping your comments, sharing your love, um, taking the messages and discerning them for yourself and integrating them in your own way and amplifying the overall collective energies by taking what resonates with you and then making things your own is how we're spreading the unity consciousness. So what I'm seeing as I'm saying this, there's like more and more opening and unfolding. It's like we're learning how to discern and filter what's true for us and hold space, like different containers for different levels of unity consciousness. So as we're working on our internal union, we're holding the original container for those sacred union energies and essences, like with that initial twin flame divine counterpart activation, right? And then as we're holding and stabilizing in that, it expands us to the next layers, like I was saying, of being able to do that in our other relationships, right, that are close to us, or even how we're activating and bringing those energies and lessons and essences into our businesses or into our purpose or into how we're sharing in the world. And then coming together in community consciousness and strengthening what we've each been learning as individuals in a larger community scale. So, what's gorgeous is we're reaching this point where we're beginning to do all of those at once. And it feels like, as I'm saying this, I know for myself, this is just starting to really unfold and open in new ways. And those of you that have been here with me, we've been experiencing and co creating these opportunities together. And so it feels important that we take these things to the next level in understanding that twin flame, divine counterpart, false twin, whatever we've been experiencing or whatever you want to call it, at the end of the day, it's all been an initiation into deeper states of inner union, unconditional love, and unity consciousness, which is the part that we as individuals in our sovereignty have the opportunity to strengthen and deepen into, regardless of what's happening in the world, regardless of what's happening with the divine counterpart twin flame, regardless of what is happening in our external connections. If we keep bringing that focus back to our self responsibility, our self accountability, continuing to strengthen our individual essences into inner union, into aligning with and asking for truth and clarity, right? Stabilizing into these essences, allowing ourselves to harmonize in the processes, right? We're starting to literally um, emanate and radiate the frequencies of sacred union essences, okay, as individuals within those inner union, within the container of the twin flame initiation, however you personally experience it. But the most important message I believe that wanted to come through, regardless of where you are on your journey, regardless of what is happening in your counterpart connection, regardless of what's presenting in front of you in each and every moment, it's about allowing yourself to both share and receive these divine union unity consciousness codes. And this is where the discernment is going to come into play, right? Your ability to feel safe enough to allow yourself to receive those when it's in alignment for you, okay? And you being in a space to discern that for yourself, okay? And I love that this topic is coming up, and I would love to hear from you in the comments. But I even feel, as I'm sitting here, I can feel even more wants to open up into the heart space with these messages, into the solar, into the sacral, into the roots. There feels like there's something that wants to open up in the truth, in the heart space, to be grounded onto earth in deepening these essences and energies of unity consciousness. Yes, I do feel we are already tapping into the sacred circle of love energies. So if you're digging these energies, you can join us in that container, that sacred space next week, on April 3rd. But yes, let's see what wants to come through with these energies of allowing ourselves to expand upon that twin flame initiation, because I'm feeling that there is greatly a portion of the collective that is absolutely ready to expand and really receive and provide these divine union, sacred union essences. And it feels like what's coming to me as I tap into this is that there is lots of different ways that these gorgeous frequencies can be experienced and shared. And it could be in partnerships, it can be in offerings, it can be in meditations or energy work or music or art, or just being present in a conversation with a friend or smiling at a stranger. It doesn't matter what it is. It's about that discernment. It's about the clarity of assuredness that you're holding within yourself. Okay. And this feels like a deeper call to allow ourselves, as we're ready, to truly open up to experiencing these divine and sacred union essences within ourselves, but also within relationships. Okay. And this is where that camaraderie and trust and reciprocity comes more deeply into play in the physical world. As we're transmuting the old core soul wound essences and dropping in these more healthy discerning boundaries, it's actually opening up the opportunity for these new connections to come into play. And like I said, it's new connections with new people. It can also absolutely 100% be people from the past, and you're reconnecting in the new energies, in the new way, with the clarity of, um, what's the word that wants to come to me? The clarity of the discernment in your system. So it's going to be a lot easier to just know and feel and sense the truth on a soul level. Okay. You guys are doing awesome. I love this. And just remember, we're going through that process of deepening our own discernment and our own energetic filtration system as we're holding ourselves accountable to align with our highest timeline and truth. It's also allowing us to filter the external reality so that we're able to see clearly what is for us and what isn't. Oh, before I hit the cards, I was seeing in my some of my most recent sessions this very huge opportunity and the overlay for this new highest timeline that's really come into alignment over this past week or so, that I know many of you have felt. And what I was sensing in some of the energies is that all of the aspects of us that may have been in other timelines or other potentials are like, there's this opportunity for all of the essences to really come into the highest timeline in the present moment. So I wanted to share that in case you feel guided to that. Oh, and the energies I was talking about yesterday, where the core soul wound and the ancestral wound are coming into those, um that where it's converging and all of that is unraveling, that seems to also be connected to where this highest timeline overlay is presenting. And we've been doing that in the advanced sessions. I forgot to say that yesterday, and it's kind of funny, but I know you guys picked up on it because a couple of you just went in and actually intuitively booked the advanced session. But I wanted to let you know that I'm excited to be sharing this space with you. But yes, this overlay, tap into that, work with it. You probably already have, but I really wanted to bring that visual because it was like almost all of those places where our consciousness was frozen or stuck or even just being diverted into other distractions is all now available to come home to the present, which I'm also finding as it's coming home to the present, it's actually allowing us to start to not just build one step at a time in the present moment, but very recently I started to see and sense and experience the ability to start to build towards the future in new ways. And I'm someone who is very much in the flow in the present moment, but it finally felt in alignment to start to allow that energy to open up into the future in the physical world, which is exceedingly exciting because that is not something I have personally experienced in this specific way in about 4 or 5 years. Okay. Well, never experienced it this way, but I wasn't even able to really look much past a few weeks. And now it allowed me to book out 4 or 5 months into a few things. So we're really starting to be able to um, commit to physical reality world things. Okay. This is a very good sign. This is the sign of how much clarity we have in the new foundation, in the new energies and essences. All right, loves. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Didn't know that was going to come through like that, but I told you I was going to hold space. This is so funny. Two cards came through, and it was loss, lack, fear, victimization, and miracles and ancient wisdom. And this is immediately bringing me to exactly what is happening. We are reaching collectively the depths of these core wounds where the fear, the loss, the lack, the victimization energy, where all of it began to occur. So, as you are dropping in these higher essences and the alignment of your highest timeline, which is aligning you with the potentials of this miracle essence, because, well, it is you and it is your highest potential and you're a beautiful, amazing being. So it's like, if this is what was activated when we were born or what we came here to work on, this is the truth of who you are, like your higher essence, right? And it's dropping in the overlay, right? And so what's happening is we're experiencing the bouts of this higher energy. And as we go deeper and stronger and more stabilized into it, you might notice this rubble of the old energies coming up and wondering, like, it's kind of interesting, like the deeper I get into it, the more is coming up. Well, yes, because we're reaching that point of where it originally happened. And it's almost to some degree the most intense at the original moment of the inception of the wound or the separation. But the cool part is you're strong enough and stable enough to actually go into it without it throwing you off course, so to speak. What it's actually doing is allowing you to stabilize your sword of truth, your higher knowledge, your true internal knowing, your purpose into these energies and essences with the shadows, with the victimization, into the wounds, right? And essentially what happens, what I'm seeing is this vision of, like, if this is us or the energies and the shadows that have been hiding in the cuts, right? And here's the truth and the higher self knowledge just coming down. This goes with yesterday's message big time. So I'm going to drop that in the pin comment for you along with the sacred circle. Um, this light and this energy is coming down right into the cracks, into the crevices, into the shadows. And it's actually helping it almost to rise up into our awareness, but not to stay, to clear out. So they're showing me, imagine there's this crevice or this hole with all of this like rubble in it. And the light and the liquid light is coming in almost like a water to flush it out. Okay, like you're flushing out the wound, the debris, and it's bringing it up. When the water rushes into the hole, like the cavern, it's going to bring the debris up to the surface so that it can be cleaned up. Okay, so this is in essence what is happening, what you've probably already been doing, but as a it's coming in this way, and it's coming in so strong into our awareness because it's like we literally are at this pivot point. This eclipse season, we have, like I said, we have Mercury retrograde coming up, which is always about a revisiting and a resurrection energy. And literally the day before Mercury goes retrograde is Easter. I didn't know that a couple weeks ago when I spoke about the resurrection energy. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the essence of energy of Easter is around that death to rebirth resurrection energy. And I've been feeling very, very, very deeply this is connected to the divine masculine collective resurrection energies. And so we have this pocket of time where we're going through these energies, but it's allowing us to get to that truth of stabilizing and anchoring our truth all the way into the core so that we're transmuting it and we're moving. So through those core, right? Through those wounds, through the things that took us out of our power are our shadows, are our fears live there. That is what has kept us out of that space because it was scary and we were afraid to go there because it felt uncomfortable or scary or potentially even dangerous at times. But it brings it all the way back to the beginning of this message in the sense that unless you're actually in legitimate, imminent physical danger, it feels very important that we are brave and courageous enough to face the energies that are coming up in the realization that these are going back to ancient times. And by facing them is how we are bringing the light and the sword of truth to these essences so that they can be cleared for us. And it's paving that pathway for the collective. And this is how you guys know that this is already working because we're seeing it all over the place. I don't even watch the news, but I don't live under a rock anymore. So I'm seeing what's happening in these Hollywood energies or in the overall collective energies of the truth coming to light. We've been watching it happen for years, but it's happening faster and faster and faster. People who have been operating under the guise of deception and distortion, they have nowhere to hide or run anymore. And that, my loves, is a result of the work that you have been doing by focusing on yourself, by aligning with the truth, by coming into more and more integrity and honor, by taking self responsibility and accountability, being willing to take responsibility for yourself, but also stepping into your self assured energy and confidence in your highest power and your truth is what is creating the pillars of energy that are stabilizing all over the globe, supporting this process. Okay. So, yes, there are collective tower moments that are occurring right now because the truth is here. The truth is present. And the things that are not truth are not sustainable anymore. Okay, loves? So, this process that we're experiencing is part of this planetary liberation. And you're amazing. And I want you to just, again, sit with the enormity of what you're doing by choosing to allow yourself to go through this activation and initiation from your twin flame divine counterpart connection. It doesn't matter how it's playing out in the physical world per se. What matters the most is that you're here doing this. And so it has served its purpose. It is serving its purpose, and it will continue to serve its purpose as long as you continue to align with your truth, drop into your heart, continue to unconditionally love yourself, hold yourself accountable, but also be comfortable standing in your power and your light and your truth, even when no one else can see it. Okay, loves? Because there is sometimes those experiences. Some of you have been growing so tremendously, the people around you have no bandwidth to actually discern or understand that. That doesn't make your growth wrong. It doesn't make it an obsolete. It just means that some people might not be able to see it or receive it right now. but Mother Earth is receiving it. And the planet as a collective whole is receiving it. So take pride in ownership of your part that you have been doing. Okay. It's not perfect. It doesn't feel perfect every day. Some days feel hard. But if you continue to align with your intended goal, you align with love, you align with sacred union, you align with unity consciousness, even on the days where you do not feel like you're holding those frequencies and you feel like you're clearing tons of burden, that's how you are getting to those codes. You are still in alignment with what you've been asking for. Okay, loves, and that needs to be acknowledged. Even in those moments where you do not feel like you're holding it, but you're transmuting and transforming those heavier, denser energies, you are doing it because your love is strong enough to have the capacity to allow those things to transform. And that right there is about to make me cry because it's not what we've been taught to see in ourselves. But your love is helping to transmute these energies and bring the truth. And on those days when you are having a tough day, I want you to remember that. Okay, loves? Because I feel it. I see you. And we can see it all around us, even when things are crumbling. It's because we are bringing in the love and the truth. Okay, loves? Wow. All right. Yes. I'm going to leave it there because I know your girl sometimes can get intense with you, but I'm not avoiding the emotion. I'm going to sit here and express it and feel it and allow that love to not just come into my awareness, but also just take a few moments to hold that space with you for all that we've all been doing through the transformation, through the transmutation, like letting ourselves actually receive the results of that. Is there more that we're still doing? Absolutely. But we absolutely also deserve to receive the results of what we've been doing. So let's just take a few moments to breathe deeply into the heart space and taking a few moments, however you connect with your highest power and how you connect with Mother Earth. And just take a few moments to allow yourself to integrate and calibrate to the truth of how much you've actually been doing. Because so much of it is not even necessarily quantifiable in this moment. But just let yourself receive the love, to receive the results, to feel that highest alignment, and to just allow any of the membranes or the places or spaces that maybe you couldn't see everything you've been doing, but where your higher self deems that you're ready to really witness yourself and how much you've been accomplishing. Let's just hold a moment to allow those membranes to dissolve, to allow yourself to feel and experience the truth of what you've been doing. As you feel guided, allow your heart space to open and blossom to receiving the true frequencies of divine and sacred love from your own essence, your own highest self. And as you feel ready, also allowing yourself to receive that in alignment and in interdependent and sacred energies, receiving that around you in the physical world, opening up to actually letting yourself receive that in new and deeper ways in a beautiful exchange. physically, emotionally, spiritually, in whatever way feels best for you. We're just going to hold that for a few moments and feeling that energy and essence stabilizing and harmonizing as you allow yourself to connect more deeply with those truths for yourself. Allowing your heart space to open for yourself first in new and deeper ways. And I'm just seeing a vision of like the lotus flower in the heart space, just opening new petals, and more petals are opening in every direction. There is so much growth. What I'm sensing is that many of you have grown much deeper and broader and wider than you've realized. And as these membranes are freed, you're able to see and allow the true internal growth space to expand and grow in every single direction, allowing those flowers and those blooms and those petals to just continue to expand and grow through your entire system. And we're just going to continue to allow this to integrate into the most perfect alignment for each and every one of you who will ever partake in this process, to allow your higher self to support you in settling this energy in the most perfect place and space for you. And I would like to give thanks for the sacred and divine loving energies that came through here today, and for all of you who are participating and sharing and co creating in these energies with me. And yes, if you like this, if you feel connected to this, feel free to join me in the Sacred Circle of Love next week. And wow, thank you so much for bringing through those beautiful messages and essences with me. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, loves. Wow, good work.